Hello and welcome to the latest video communication for Extension. Today's topic will be Extension Staffing Plan. This will be a team effort. Bev Coberly, our Associate Vice Provost, welcome Bev.
Good morning.
Will help me kick this off. And then the program directors will highlight their staffing plans. Bev and I will cover the Agriculture and Natural Resource Program area as David Baker can't be here today. Following that, the co-chairs of the RD-PD group, Jay Chisholm and Ina Linville, will close us out. So to start, let me say that the staffing plan development has been a joint effort led by regional directors and program directors. The PDs will highlight criteria used and locations identified for faculty in their segments. But I want to start by saying, and this is important to remember, the full staffing plan and its ability to do programming will depend on A, crossing regional lines to do programs, and B, revenue generation by faculty. We want to thank faculty and regional councils for their input into the program coverage plan. I want to say thanks for the faculty and staff and hanging in there throughout this process and in many cases taking on extra responsibilities while positions have been vacant. We have a program plan we're working towards implementing beginning July 1. We will start posting the positions as soon as possible. Positions will be prioritized by RDs and PDs. HR will keep the hiring process moving. Once the positions are prioritized, the hiring process will be in stages starting with our higher priorities beginning July 1.
At that time, Michael and folks, the RDs will begin to work with county councils and faculty to develop timelines in each of the regions to move the hiring process along. A few of the positions in HES are dependent on the Farm Bill being passed, so obviously we'll delay the opening of those positions until a decision is made on the legislation at the federal level. Some faculty are being retooled due to organizational needs, and retooling plans are being developed to begin on or before July 1 as well. There are a few cases where faculty will be asked to relocate as to be able to provide the best program coverage possible. RDs will work with the faculty involved and local councils to develop a timeline that works best for each situation. At this time, we're going to transition to our program directors and let them visit with you about the criteria for staffing across the state and share with you the maps they have developed.
Thank you, Beverly. And I want to thank the 4-H faculty and staff for the extra effort in this transition with open positions and retirements. I'm just proud of you and the professionalism and dedication and commitment to the 4-H Youth Development Program. Let's go into the criteria for program coverage for 4-H Youth Development. Basically, we wanted no more than 3 counties per 4-H faculty to cover. We know that if you have more than that, you're spending more time on the road than actually doing programming. The other thing is that we were looking at our youth population for youth ages 5 to 18. And where are our youth? That's where we need our faculty and staff. The other thing, we looked at the 4-H Club program. The 4-H is also a program that helps young people and volunteers thrive, but it's also an organization. So we wanted to look to see where we had 4-H Club program membership, and we wanted to place our faculty and staff there. The other thing that we looked at local considerations, and last but not least, we looked at the Kids Count Child Index, and that's our criteria and indices for basically the vulnerable youth. The first slide that comes up for 4-H program coverage shows that there's 47 youth specialists spread around the state. We have 7 faculty in Northeast, 7 faculty in Northwest, 8 faculty distributed to the urban region, 7 faculty in West Central, and then 6 faculty in Southwest, Southeast, and East Central, respectively. And this is something that when you look at the slides you can see. The next slide basically shows where we have not only our 4-H faculty, but our 4-H staff. And I'm really pleased that we're being able to redistribute the youth resource allocation funding so that we will have 47 youth specialists, 4 educators, 16 full-time youth program assistants, 28 half-time youth program assistants, 20 youth program assistants, and 20 half-time youth program assistants spread out through the state. So we have 119 4-H youth faculty and staff, and I'm looking forward to working with this team for a dynamic 4-H youth development program. At this time, I'd like to turn this over to my colleague, Dr. Mary Lucy, for her to talk about the community development program. Thank you.
I want to thank all of the community development faculty for working through the unique issues that we have in providing CD programming statewide, and even in beginning to think about what our criteria are, because the faculty have really done an incredible job of helping us think about that. So the criteria we thought about are population and density, demographics, physical and geographic limits, where our regional planning commissions are, what are the regional trade patterns, where do people already travel, how do we come up with a good geographic distribution. So to really get at that, we did some mapping and looking at that. Then we went back and looked at what do the data actually tell us, and then began to look at, we need to really make sure we're covering the state. So we really looked at how we would truly blur regional lines, how we would truly come up with coverage, and how are our opportunities for revenue generation, what are they? So that resulted in this map, and we really looked at program coverage area. So this map shows you coverage area, shows you where at this point the faculty will be located. A couple of other things to pay attention. It's 21.5 positions based on being able to generate some revenue along with our general operating. And sometimes people ask about that half position. That's the current position that deals with civic communications and community development in Greene County. But as you look at this, we've tried to really maintain the integrity of the difference between an urban area and our rural areas. And while it sounds like a lot, being able to cover 7 to 8 counties is actually a good thing. And as we move forward with being able to grow our revenue, I look forward to the day, as do our faculty, that we'll be able to even shrink that kind of coverage area in the rest of Missouri. So again, thank you to all the faculty who have really worked hard about thinking how we need to look for the future.
Thank you for coming today. I'm really excited to be here talking about new opportunities and new faculty positions. In HES, we are looking at a statewide complement of new positions. We may have the opportunity to fill up to 17 new positions within the coming months. As I sat down to begin to think about this and how we could even add positions that we had not had before, I started with the map of the state of Missouri. We initially put in all of our current faculty positions, and then we began to look at where we felt that we had holes in our coverage, where there were gaps, how we could fill that best. One thing that you will see on the program coverage map is a real blurring of the regional lines. I began with the state of Missouri and then overlaid the regional lines. So there will be positions that their coverage area will cover into 2 regional areas. We also wanted to try to reduce the size of the coverage area where possible. Now, in the case of housing, we still have 1 housing per region, which actually is an increase for us across the state. But where we could, we actually have reduced the number of counties served while still maintaining that statewide complement of programs. As you'll see in the nutritional sciences maps, as well as all of our program maps, the black stars are where current faculty are located. Each coverage area then is shaded in a different color. The green dots, as well as the red dots, are future positions. We are hopeful that by fall of 2013 that we will fill the green dot positions, followed then by the red dots across the state. As you can see, my overall goal with nutrition was to have a minimum of 2 to 3 nutrition specialists per region. As we look at the next slide, personal finance, we again tried to have at least 2 positions per region, 3 if we could afford that. Again, the stars are current filled positions. The green dots and red dots will be filled in late 2013, early 2014. We're looking for program coverage areas of no more than 6, maybe 8 counties per region. As we move to human development, again, we're looking and trying to make sure we had at least 2 positions per region. We looked at areas, like with all the maps, of counties that were contiguous, that worked together, and here we'll have 1 position that we will be filling. That should hopefully be on our first round of positions. That would be the human development position in Cooper County. For our final slide, it would be our housing. As many people know, housing has, we have not had housing in all regions for many, many years. And so my goal, working with the regional directors, was to ensure that we had at least 1 housing specialist per region. As you can see, currently we have 1 housing specialist per region, except in the West Central, and in the urban region we actually have a housing specialist on each side of the state. We will be filling, again, the housing position there in West Central early in our hiring. I think this will make a much smoother transition. We know that we have high housing need throughout the state, and so this will help us have more consistent programming. We think we have reasonable coverage areas. We have filled in gaps that we may have had in the past. We're looking at an exciting opportunity, being able to fill up to 17 new positions in the coming months. If you have any questions, I welcome them. I thank you for this opportunity, and it's my pleasure now to introduce Steve Devlin, the Business Development Program Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. First, let me say that I'm deeply honored to be joining an organization like the University of Missouri Extension. I'm very excited to be working with a dedicated array of professionals across our state. As a land-grant institution, MU has the long-standing mission of bringing practical education to the state's citizens. I strongly believe that education is the most important element in building successful and productive communities. And while formal education systems strive to build a strong foundation, Extension plays the critical role of spreading the knowledge beyond the walls of our university and continuing that learning process as we face a changing new world. As you've heard, Extension continues to face growing funding challenges. And while in the midst of those challenges, there continues to be a growing need for the educational services provided by our faculty. The University of Missouri Extension Business and Development Program provides a statewide network of business development specialists, partner centers, and university faculty to serve the business and industry of our state. While there are many faces, processes, and tools that make up the business development program, growing our state's economy must be the value proposition that we bring to the table. As we move forward, decisions will need to be made with a critical eye on increasing the economic impact of our organization. As we look at the criteria that are used in identifying where we're going to place our business development specialists, you can easily see, as you are aware, we cannot staff at the county level. So to provide equal coverage, we have assigned 2 business development specialists per extension region, with 2 in each of the urban areas. Within the regions, we've tried to locate those staff in relationship to potential for economic growth, but also we've looked at the need to try to develop partnerships with local and regional entities such as economic developers, regional planning commissions, chambers of commerce. Our value proposition needs to be so strong that these groups will be happy to invest in our program and to continue offering our services. We also need to consider that we're going to have a local presence, but with a statewide expertise. We can't have the expertise in each of the areas. We have to have individuals that can bring the right resources to fix the need or fix the problem faced by an individual. Obviously, as we move forward, we'll have more discussions about the business development program coverage plan. But for now, we'll keep our focus on increasing the revenue generation opportunities and helping to drive the economy of our state. With that, we'll transfer over to the Ag and Natural Resource section with Michael and Beverly.
And now, Agriculture and Natural Resources. As we mentioned, David Baker's not able to be with us today, so Bev and I are going to cover the A&R program area. First, I want to talk about the criteria used for A&R in the livestock sector. It identifies Missouri as a continual forage-based state, one which we expect the livestock and dairy sectors to expand. We expect growth in cattle and retained ownership. The swine industry, we believe, will continue to grow as a vertically integrated industry. Natural Resource Conservation Service and soil and water conservation districts will address sectors and waste management needs for these animal areas. If we turn to crops, Missouri will continue to rank in the top 10 related to corn, soybeans, rice, and cotton. Forage production, as I already mentioned, is going to be high because of our needs for livestock. There will be a growing demand for information related to production, processing, and marketing of energy and value-added identity-protected crops. Environmental and technology issues related to topics such as water quantity and quality, GPS, monitors for yields will likely increase and need research-based answers. With regard to the green industry, commercial and locally grown foods, vegetables, fruit, meat, poultry, production will continue to expand, especially in and around the urban region. The Master Gardener program will continue to grow as it's continued over these many years. The green industry will continue to develop and expand in the residential and sports turf sectors. Other things that we are concerned about with the A&R review criteria are eliminating duplication and expertise of program thrusts between various private and public sectors. We want to be flexible and plan to deliver our programs across those regional boundaries. Bev?
At this time, we're going to look at some of the maps. So here is the livestock and dairy map, and I won't go over each county or each region that they are in, but just in general point out to you that there are 18 livestock positions with 2 dairy positions in the livestock and dairy. In Andrew County in northwest Missouri, the livestock position there will pick up some of the dairy kinds of pieces. Our next map is on ag, business, and rural development, and if you'll look across the state, there are 21 positions across the regions. As you look at these maps, as you can see, some of the positions are back to back, but they're serving out in different ways in the regions, and they'll be crossing regional lines to create the appropriate program coverage. And the rural development position that is left in the state is down in McDonald County. The next map I think that we're going to talk about is the agronomy map, and if you will see that map, there are 25 positions slated across the state to cover the agronomy needs in the state. And you can see they really follow where the agronomy crops are at the strongest or at the highest level of concentration in the state. The next map is the natural resource engineers, and we have a little bit of change of how that position is going to be handled, and Michael's going to talk about that.
Right, this map shows the coverage there. Before we talk about that, I want to just mention that when it comes to the natural resource engineers, no position locations for those faculty have changed. The faculty members remain the same in those locations. And we're looking at those positions to continue to specialize on current and emerging areas. Areas such as energy, water, and technology use in ag and natural resources. Faculty within those areas will continue to specialize and will have an education role statewide. The faculty positions will continue to be in Atchison, Boone, Lincoln, Perry, and Webster counties.
The next map is the horticulture map, and that map, if you will notice, has 13 positions on it. The urban regions will have horticulture positions in their areas and counties there, and that's something to bring your attention to. At this time, we would like to say thank you again to everyone, and I'm going to transition next back to Jay and Ina to bring closure to this morning's video relative to staffing and program planning across the state of Missouri. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Well, we want to thank you for your time. We know that this is a lot of information to digest. So to help you, you are probably seeing the video now, but we'll have it linked to the YouTube channel if you want to go back and look at it. In addition, we'll have a site on the S Drive that you can access the video and the PowerPoint slides so that you can look at that up close and with a little bit more time. But again, we want to thank you for your dedication through this time of transition.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo that too, echo the thank you that that Ina mentioned. You know, it's been quite a process when you think about it. It's involved, you know, our county secretaries, our office managers, our regional councils, our county councils, you, the faculty, and all the staff had a lot of input. And really, we had a great RD and our regional director and program director team really work on this over a long period of time and really make a difference. So we're really pleased with the effort and just want to thank everybody for their part in the whole process. When we think about this idea, we just have to remember that really we're all stewards of the land grant mission. And our mission is to provide that transformational learning experience to all the citizens throughout the state of Missouri. I'm looking forward to this time, looking forward to the time that we can add more faculty on the ground and really move forward as an organization.
Absolutely, Jay. And as we move forward, we need to realize that adding faculty and staff is dependent on us generating that revenue to add more faculty and staff and to keep the faculty and staff that we have on board. So we have a great team. I'm looking forward to working together to really put those learning experiences for our citizens in Missouri.